And we're back! Let's see, I just gotta do my, my links, and then I will begin. So let's see, what am I doing? I gotta do, and go into my YouTube thingamajig. Bum 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 bum. Copy that, delete that, do this, tweet that, Facebook this, Facebook that. Shut your mouth, Dan, you're getting kind of dumb. Alright, so let's see, I got my links up. Finally, the labels are starting to get become correct. Alright, so I think we're good to go. Roll the title!
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Okay!
Welcome to episode 8 of the Ghosty Films animation live stream, everybody. Here we go. So in the last episode, we were very unproductive. I was very unproductive in my in-between framing. And hopefully I'll light a fire under my A this time and get some work done and finish this thing, and then I could start coloring it and working on the surprise animation of this character being surprised by what he sees over to stage left, and not surprised in the fact that I'm going to show you something that you were surprised by. So let's see. Whoa. So the cheekbone kind of goes like, it starts just above the eye and then goes right over the... beard stubble, which I always seem to forget. We got our cheekbone. Slightly squarish skull. Not too bad though. Not like the blockheads from Gumby. Am I right? Where my clay people at? Alright, I'm dumb. Sorry. Where my blockheads at? What? These bitches be thirsty. I was at a comedy open mic and this lady went up on stage and she just, the first thing she would yell was, "These bitches be thirsty." And she kind of didn't really, it kind of got like a confused, weird reaction, like what the hell's going on? And she kind of like babbled and didn't really say anything. She was just kind of yammering and didn't really say any jokes that she'd written. Just like, oh, she's wasting time. And so a couple of weeks later, I was at this other open mic and it was just like this hole in the wall bar where none of the people there were even remotely interested in listening to comedians. And then there were just like, most of the people in the audience were comedians, so they've heard your jokes a million times. And so I just felt like everybody was going up there and just eating shit and not getting any results. So I was like, I don't know, I just went up there and I was like, "These bitches be thirsty!" And it got some laughs, but I think everything I said after that was just died, pretty much like everyone else. Let's see, what am I looking at here? So it's kind of weird when you tell stories about like doing something good in comedy. Just feels arrogant.
So look what I did when other people weren't doing as well.
But I didn't really do that well either. I just felt like the barflies were just staring holes and hating us, like staring holes through us and just like ugh, and judging. So it's just like, I'm gonna do something. I'm going to not care, and I'm just gonna do something wacky and I don't know. It's kind of a fun experiment more than anything else. I didn't know that it was gonna work. I kind of assumed that people were just gonna look at me like I was stupid, which is probably what they should have done. But you know, if the audience doesn't give a damn, I don't know. Does it really matter if you don't? And if the audience doesn't care, maybe that's a good time to just try crazy stuff that you were thinking about that you never did before. I don't know if that makes sense. But it's not really my idea. Like, it's not something I would ever do again because I didn't think of saying that. I mean, I was doing like a parody of that woman, and I assumed that she was doing a parody of somebody else that she'd seen. Let's see, are we done with this frame? Dan, are you done yapping and ready to get to work? You're over here flapping your gums when work needs to be done. Alright, let's go. I wonder how it looks with the other character here. Not too bad. I felt like I saw some hiccups. No, it's just the guy blinking in and out of existence. Alright, not too bad. I like it. Sometimes I just, if I force myself to just sit down and do stuff, and I see that I did a decent job, it's just like it encourages me to do more. And if I was not recording or not streaming, I probably would have been easily distracted. Like, I would feel less obligation to just keep marching forward. And I just go, oh, I'm gonna watch some YouTube videos for like a half an hour, and then I would have wasted that time. But like being forced to keep going, I feel like it helps me a bit. Huh, wait a minute. Huh, that's weird. I thought that I screwed something up because I deleted the window on YouTube that was receiving the transmission from the OBS Studio software. But it seems as if my, what the hell's going on? Why is my stupid web browser not complying? Okay, it looks like it's working. I just deleted a window that I should not have deleted. Alright, Dan, get to work, you jerk! You stupid, low attention span having piece of garbage. Alright, so let's see. Come on, Dan. Use the right line. thickness. Ugh. I guess that's it. Whew. How does that flow? I am the wellspring from which you flow. Let's see. Starting to turn his body a little bit more to this side. Let's see, what am I doing here? His arm should be behind him here. I guess I don't really even need to draw that arm. However, I can see both shoulders in the future and the past, so maybe I should actually not be a sloppy piece of garbage and draw the shoulder here like I'm supposed to. Oh, that's weird. Come on, Dan. doing. I feel like I'm making bad choices. Look at this. This hood is behind his back. That hood is behind his back. But for some reason, Dum Dum over here drew it in front. Like, why did I do that? Like, what? Dan, wake up, you goofball. I'm gonna have to check over my work with extra scrutiny because I feel like I'm making mistakes. So let's see. This needs about there. So this one should be about right here. And I think we're done with this. So the future is red. I'm putting this blue. Are we good? Whew. Okay, we got an easy frame again. I feel like when I'm in betweening and there's only 2 frames in between the keyframes, it's like I gotta do one that's a little bit difficult to do, and then an easy one, and then another one that's a little bit difficult to do, and then an easy one again. Because like it's easy to just figure out the center of the 2 things that you're looking at, but when there's 2 frames, you gotta move it over like to a quarter of the way instead of a half, and then this frame's you gotta draw this one a quarter of the way off center. But then the next time it's easy because then you get to go back. You're doing in between this eye and this eye, and you just get to draw right in the center again. Wait a minute. Okay, I just confused myself. I'm doing the center now. I'm doing easy frames. Let's see, it should be about here. Beard stubble that I always forget to do. I'm gonna draw this line so I don't screw up the hood again like I've been doing. Let's see, the neck is about here. Eraser. Okay, that's good, I think. Why did I make that excessively big? So let's see, right about there. Damn it, Dan, you and your yellow. Why do I keep choosing yellow as the color to write with, to draw with? Kind of works down here in this dark area. It stands out, but up here it's annoying. In the whiteness. Let's color this dark. Alright, I guess I'm making a little bit of progress. As long as I'm not trying to be too chit-chatty, I guess. I was listening to some comic book drawing streams or YouTube channels. I can't remember if they were streams or not, but they were talking about how one of the biggest critiques or weaknesses of comic book artists is that comic book artists can't draw feet. And I feel like that's interesting, because I feel like I'm pretty weak when it comes to drawing feet. Like, I mean, it depends on what type of foot we're talking about. There's a big fat foot for you. And then there's like a... But then you can draw feet from different angles. I'm more of a cartoonist than a comic book artist. I rarely draw realistic people, and that's one of the things that I'm a little bit apprehensive about when I think about drawing my comic book that I'm hoping to start sometime in the near future. Is that I need to start practicing drawing realistic people and familiarizing myself with human anatomy, and I need to like train. I need to just start practicing soon. Maybe when I do my mock-up of the comic book with rough sketches, I'll just try to try to make them more realistic than I normally would. Not scribble my ideas down like I often do. Maybe I could get... I know I have a bunch of drawing books. I think I have I might have a human anatomy drawing book somewhere. It might just be for heads and faces, though. And in any case, I need to practice and make sure my drawing abilities are sharp and I don't make stupid mistakes like I just did. We're not drawing in the middle right now. We're drawing off to the center. I guess that's one downside of trying to come up with something to say while you're drawing, is that I have a short attention span, and if I'm talking about something... Wait, what am I doing here? I lose track of what I was doing. Okay, that makes sense. That this line would touch the ear, because this line's past the ear and this line hasn't passed the ear yet, so somewhere in between it's got to touch it or be close to it. Come on, Dan. Mr. Parmesano's ghost is mocking you. He's chewing on a cigar and just like looking down upon you with disapproval. Mr. Parmesano actually was the one who taught me perspective drawing. He wasn't he wasn't an art teacher. He was an all-purpose middle school teacher, and he taught us 2-point perspective, 1-point perspective. I wonder what my actual art teachers would think if they saw that I was animating. Who knows? They probably wouldn't care. They're probably... I don't know. I remember one time I was at a musical open mic, and this guy came up to me and he was like, he was asking me questions about animation, and I can't remember how he knew that I was an animator. I don't generally advertise it that much. But he was asking me if I would want to teach a class full of kids how to animate. But we were at a musical open mic in a bar, and I'm really deaf as it is from playing music all my life. And I was trying to explain to him like how animation worked, but I couldn't hear what he was saying, and I could barely understand. I don't think I could. I was expressing what I was talking about very easily, and I'd been drinking, and he'd been drinking, and it was just like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'd want to teach animation. I mean, I guess if they paid me to do it. Or if I was just teaching a friend, like, you're my friend, like, maybe we could work on a project in the future, and I can talk to you in a friendly way and not like this business discourse, professional, you know, office tone. I don't know, I don't like formality. What am I doing now? This pocket here. If I never have to be formal ever again, it'll be too soon. So let's see, that was the frame before, this is the frame after. So that means this pocket should be about right there. I don't even like dressing up in a suit. I like being out in the forest. Like an animal. Like the caveman, like barbarian that I am. Let's see, so this foot is off the ground, so this foot's got to be firmly secured. What? What is wrong with me? Look at this. Look how small I made this shoe, and look how big I made this shoe. I'm a disgrace. I'm just a disgrace. Well, I did kind of like draw my keyframes based on these scribbly circle people, so maybe that's what I get for being for not scrutinizing my sketches and not. So let's see, his foot's gotta be about here probably. Okay, I feel like this leg needs to be over more. I hate myself. Okay, his leg, his knee's gotta be there. Maybe like that. How does that look? Pretty decent for a cartoon character. Sorry for burping in the mic. Oh, half an hour went by already. Back to work, Dan. Alright, at least I get to do an easier frame now. Not yellow. I guess yellow is kind of like my default. Like I use one red or blue for the future and red or blue for the past, whichever one I didn't use for the other. And then yellow kind of stands out when you're drawing in between those. But yeah, I'm not used to drawing in this bright white background. I think of what else I've been working on lately. So wait, this, that looks about right. I feel like I'm screwing this up. I can't do anything right. I didn't draw the cheekbone for this frame. So that's blue. I guess the cheekbone would be about right here for this one. Then we got this line coming down about like that. Huh. Very inconsistent, Dan, you jerk. So let's see, that's that finger. So, where is the back? This line's gotta be there. This line's gotta be here. Where are we now? The hood is like that. Oh gosh. Let's make this blue. What color are you? I'll make you red. Actually, gosh darn it. I always feel like I do everything counterintuitively. So let's see. His back is here. His back is about there probably. So this center would be about here. I gotta make this a different color. I can't tell what I'm looking at. Ugh, look at this tiny foot. I gotta fix this. I can't have this. What kind of a self-respecting animator would let this fly? Well, I mean, I'm not a self-respecting animator. The last thing I deserve is respect. But, come on. What the hell is that? Okay, I guess I didn't really interpret that as I should have. A little bit closer. I feel like I gotta... black's gotta be my go-to line color for the in-betweening now. I keep going to yellow, but yellow is just... Hey Dan, we get it! We get it! No yellow! Jeez, Grandpa, why don't you tell us the story about how you don't want to use yellow in front of the white window anymore because you can't see it? Why don't you put on your reading glasses and tell us a story by the roaring fireplace? Tell us your glory days story about animation. Alright, so how does that look? Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more in between frames, and then I probably have like 3 or 4 surprise frames to do. Alright, let's go. Move, move, move. Give the old knuckles a crack. Quit fooling around and get to work, Dan. Alright, so I stupidly changed that to red. Okay, so let's see. Black. So, this is his cheekbone, that's his cheekbone, and his ear would just be popping up around the corner of his head. What am I looking at here? Okay, so let's see. Not too bad. Hopefully this will look a little bit less jerky. with this frame added in. This is a little bit of a trickier in-between frame, just because I'm rotating a drawing that doesn't exist in 3D reality. I've often thought about like whether it'd be a good idea to sculpt cartoon characters in clay first before I start using them. I remember seeing, like, I had a Bart Simpson rubber doll when I was a kid, and I always thought it was interesting how it looked, because Bart Simpson doesn't really, like, his head is, I don't think they thought very much about representing him in 3D reality before they started making the cartoon, and so there are certain flaws in the way Bart Simpson's head is shaped, and when you make him a 3D representation, it doesn't really look, you know, like the cartoon does, because the cartoon was not, it was never based on an actual corporeal thing. I wonder whatever happened to that thing. How do I do this one? His leg is kinda, I feel like this has gotta be over more like that. That's gotta be over more like that. What are we doing here? So his, boy, that was weird. I feel like animation is often, like a big part of it is dealing with the mistakes and bad judgments that you made earlier on in the process. Or at least it is for me. Not a bad foot. Who says... Well, I guess they were talking about comic book artists not being able to draw feet. But I feel like a lot of comic artists, they do just do like that. And then they draw webbing. Alright, Dan, get out of here with your nonsense. So am I done with this drawing? I think I am. Make that one, make this blue. And then we got a nice easy halfway. What's the timer at? 45 minutes already. How many did I even do? I only did like 4 drawings. Dan, you lazy son of a gun. Well, you's a lazy mother effer. hopefully I can do this drawing a little bit faster then. The quarter, the .25 drawing. What am I looking at here? So this back line is probably going to be about there. So that means that's this line is probably right behind this one. How did I get to blue already? So let's see. I guess I'm just gonna have to operate under the assumption that he can slide his foot while he's turning. Or maybe I should go back and edit. You know what? Why don't I do this? I'll make this shoe. Because it seems like he'd have to plant this foot at a 45-degree angle. And then, in order to make the turn. And I'm just not respecting that. Respect the 45-degree angle step, Dan. You jerk. Alright. So now I'll just redo this drawing here. I'll make this go down to like that. I'll just have to pay attention to that a little bit more closely in the future. So, whoa. What the hell is this? The hell is this shit? So, okay. I'm a disgrace to animation. Yeah. Alright, so I think are we done? No, we're not done with this leg. How does that look? Yeah, that looks pretty natural. Alright, I'm not a complete disgrace. So, okay, this line is here. I'm starting to get confused again. There we go. Alright, I think we're done with those two. How does it look? Does it look fluid? I've made worse. Alright, so maybe about 6 more. Well, these are gonna be maybe about yeah, 6 more. And then I can just do the I can sort of match the animation to the other character for the surprise bit. Let's see, what are we doing here? Saving black ink so I don't get eye strain. We get it, Dan! Why does that look weird to me? Because you, Dan, made this eye too far up. Wait a minute. I didn't draw this? I thought I drew this already. What was the, So the red one is the past, and the blue is the future. Come on, Dan. Motor skills! What are we at now? 55 minutes? This is all I got done in 55 minutes? I'm upset. Okay. I can do yellow now because it's below the white line. Help I click on the right thing there, Dan. Okay, so let's see. Red. I don't know. Color that. I think we're done with the torso and head. Looks good, I think. So let's see, what am I doing here? Okay, this has got to be planted. How does it look though? Not too bad. Arg! Mr. Parmesan was rolling in his grave. Sometimes I feel like when I'm playing guitar or music in general, and or if I'm doing an animation and I'm just not as good as I feel like I used to be, I always feel like I just feel like this broken down old man. Like, there was that scene in Unforgiven where William Money was like he was like this old killer, just an old gunfighter, and he was, the whole movie he was like, I ain't like that no more, I ain't a killer no more. And there was the scene where he put a bottle or something or a can on a stump, and he took out his pistol that he used to use, and he was shooting at it, and he just kept missing and missing, and his kids were looking at him like, you know, I think Paul used to kill folks, but they were like still skeptical. Like he obviously couldn't. He obviously wasn't good at shooting anymore. But sometimes it's just I don't know. I feel like I'm just an old broken down pig farmer. When I should be. I don't know. I should be good at doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm washed up. I'm over the hill. I just came up with like this elaborate analogy of a movie character that is nothing like me to make a point that I could have just made by saying that I'm all washed up. Alright, Dan, use a color you can see. Actually, I'm going to use red. Stands out a little bit more. What time are we at? Geez, an hour already? Alright. I guess I will be right back with more riveting animation footage. I'll keep you at the edge of your seat. Alright, let's do this. Starting it back up again. I'll be right back.